This whole Pokemon market summer slowdown is really slowing me down trying to progress with this whole Pokemon business. Hi, I'm Cal, this is Cal's Pokemart, and at the start of this year I decided to try my hand at running my own Pokemon business. So I've not posted a progress update since the end of April, so I'm going to do a quick recap of why I'm doing the business, how I started out, what the intentions are, where I've got up to since the last video, and then what the next steps are. So the recap. Now, at the start of the year, I gave myself a £2,000 budget to get my own Pokemon business going, just buying and selling and grading from my spare room. I wanted to do it all legitimately, so I've set up a business bank account, set up a business eBay page. I'm going to do all the facts and figures, the numbers, the tax, all that stuff, all above board and legit. And this was because in the previous 18 months, I did some personal selling on eBay, really enjoyed the whole process and thought, why not make a fist of it and try and take it to another level? So in January, February and March, I spent £2,094 on about £850 worth of cards, about £850 worth of grading fees with PSA and ACE, and about £300 or so on all the ancillary stuff that I need, some of the social media equipment, microphones and lights, and all the postage equipment, that kind of stuff. I launched the business on the 1st of April, and by that point, I'd had 3 ACE submissions back and a load of cards that I'd bought to try and find ones for grading that were deemed not good enough for grading, so just resell them again. In the month of April, I sold around £1,300 worth of stock, really good start. It was quite at the point when the Pokemon market was really booming. Things were just flying out, people were buying anything, even the ACE cards that came back in low grades, they went like that. Since April, if you look at the numbers that I'm going to put up on the screen now, in the whole 2 and a bit months since, I've only sold around £1,200 worth of stock. Now in June, I was away for a couple of weeks and pretty much stopped altogether. In the last couple of weeks, I've come back. I've had a PSA submission come back with some really cool cards that if they do sell, will get me quite a bit of profit. But at the moment, nothing's selling. The summer slowdown has really halted it in its whole tracks. I've listed these cards, like I've got some Lucario PSA 10s, some early ETB, Scarlet Violet ETB promos in PSA 10s, some really cool cards that earlier in the year would have been snapped up instantly. I've listed them all at the lower end of their market value and they're just sat there. One of the Lucarios went for 170 and one of the PSA 9s went for 35 as well. So I've got £200 out of them, but I've still got another 10 cards sat there waiting to go, waiting to earn me profit, and just nothing's moving. Now this is the dilemma for any small Pokemon business owner like myself. Do I drop the prices so much that they become attractive for someone to buy and they get snapped up, but I lose out on the profits? Or do I hold out, wait for the 30th anniversary to come out, then hope the Pokemon market picks up again and then get them sold at a good price and earn more money? Now, for a small business like this, you need to churn and burn the money through. I need to get stuff in, sell it straight away and get the profits. So I'm kind of on the fence with it at the moment because I don't want to sell myself too short, but I also need to get these things sold. So if you look at the all up picture, it's around £2,300 that I've now churned around with this money. So my initial £2,094 investment, it is making its own money, and I'd say around 15% of that 2,300 is profit. Now that's not too bad considering not all my ACE cards came back in 10s, and I've sold some of the raw cards at a loss because I've had to sell them for the same price I bought them because they weren't good enough for grading, and then there's the eBay fee on top, which we'll talk about in a minute. And so with a few mistakes in there, 15% profit is not too bad. Now I should make more profit once all the PSA cards go as well, and then we'll start to churn that into more Facebook job lots, and we'll talk about that in a bit in a minute. So on the eBay fees, on an eBay business account, it's a 14% fee. And when you've got such small margins like you have on this kind of operation that I'm doing with buy-in cards at percentage discounts, job lots, finding things for grading, ACE grading doesn't have the biggest uplift on the prices either. The margins are quite small, and a 14% eBay fee just absolutely murders it. If we look at my all up sales for the year, I think it's around £400 or 600. I'll get the figures up on the screen now that I've lost in just pure eBay selling fees. So obviously that's really frustrating, but because my business is so small, there's no point creating my own website yet where I could circumnavigate these fees because I won't get the traffic to it. eBay brings thousands and thousands and thousands of people into one place and they can all view my items and decide if they want to buy or not. If I created my own website, how do I get the same amount of traffic in? While it'd be beneficial to skip the 14% fee, I need to guarantee people can actually see what I'm selling. So that's the whole point with the social media account. The TikTok is on nearly 2,500 followers. I want to build up the YouTube. I think we're on 40 subscribers at the moment. So I really appreciate everyone who has clicked that subscribe button. And if you want to see how this is going to progress, hit the like button and subscribe as well. But the whole unless I build up a bit of a small following at least, or at least people know who I am and a trusted seller, there's no point starting my own website yet. So for this first year, it's going to be on eBay. And if I can build up some traction with this, then we'll convert to a website. So over the last couple of months since the April update, I think in April I bought my first Facebook job lot, some like illustration rare cards for around £220. I then subsequently found another 2 Facebook job lots, small end around £200 and £100, just to get some cards on the eBay page and hopefully find some for grading, which I did. I've sent 5 of them out to PSA and that should be back in a month or 2. But it is quite hard, I find, on Facebook to get people to sell at a discount because obviously people want market value for their cards. And I get that, that's absolutely fine. But the way I look at it is Facebook Marketplace is for kind of like selling things quick for cash to avoid tax or other fees maybe, you know. I'm not saying that's what people do, but you know what I mean. And I feel like if you're posting a Facebook job lot up for market price, you're probably going to be happy to accept a bit below. Now, some people are. I found 3 people who were and they just wanted quick cash, but I do find that most people are looking for that full market value. Now, if you want full market value, I'd recommend selling on eBay and you'll get that there. The reason that people tend to offer less on Facebook is because we know that you're circumnavigating the tax and the fees and all those kind of things. Because when you sell, if a business owner sells a card at full market value, they're then paying tax on the profits and selling fees as well. So not actually getting all that. And that's where the actual market value that a business sells at is kind of different to when you're selling privately, because the actual profit of both are making is the same when you take away the business fees and tax. So it's a bit of a funny one, but if you do just ask as many people as possible, eventually some will stick. And like I said, I have found 3 people to sell me job lots, but they've been lower end job lots, lower end illustration rare cards, a lot of EXs in there that just don't sell, a few decent cards. And I think going forward, what the next steps are now for me with this business is if I share Pulse TCG at the moment, I've got 3 submissions out. 1 with Ace, which would be worth around £1,000, and 2 with PSA, which should bring in probably another 1,500 or so. I've got £500 in the business bank account right now. I need 250 of that to pay for my Ace submission when it comes back. Sell all the cards that I've got listed, which are around another £700 worth of cards, the PSA ones. Get these submissions back, sell them. I should be sat on, or could be sat on, around £2,500, and that's where my strategy is going to change. Because to churn and burn at a good level doing this, you need to have a bigger amount of capital to start off with. Now, I've been trying to do small end stuff, and the profit margins when you're selling with a 14% fee, it's almost just not worth it. It really isn't. I've made the money on the graded cards. So going forward, I'm going to try and build up the pot of money that I've got to get to 2,000, 2,500 maybe, and then look for bigger Facebook job lots. And I think that's where the money is because there's more margins there. People are more likely to sell, say, a collection that's worth £2,500 for a flat 2,000 cash because it's still a lot of money in one go and they get to get rid of it quickly. I'm not saying everyone will, but there will be people out there who are more willing to do that. And I'm certainly going to be looking at higher end card collections, less of the lower end illustration rares, no more EX cards, that kind of thing, but also sealed. I want to get into sealed because I think that's where you can churn and burn really, really well. And when the Pokemon market is hot, the sealed goes like that. And you know, if you get stuck with the sealed for a little while, it tends to go up in value steadily over a longer period of time. So that's what the next steps with this business will be, is wait out the summer slowdown. I'm going to try and not undercut my cards too much. I'm going to see if maybe give them another week or 2, see if they'll sell. Get my Ace submission back. I should have another PSA submission back in a week or 2. Get them all listed, and hopefully over the next few weeks, while 30th anniversary craze comes along and sends the Pokemon market into overdrive, I will then be able to shift some of these cards, get good value for them, and then start looking at Facebook job lots for sealed. And now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of people selling Facebook job lots of 30th anniversary stuff that they've got at MSRP that they're going to try and sell really, really quickly. And if I can get that at a good price, I know that'll be really easy to flip on the eBay page as well. So that's where I'm up to in a nutshell. We've turned over £2,300 so far. It's been quite slow going. I'm going to try and pick it up a bit more with all these graded returns, and then we're going to see what kind of job lots we can really get with that kind of money. And it's just an interesting venture to go on. You know, I'm quite happy. I'm already in profit. I'm not losing any of that initial investment I put in. So it's just interesting to see if I can make this grow and how quickly I can make it grow, because I'm confident that I can do it. So yes, if you're interested, like I said earlier, to see how this progresses, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be monthly updates going forward. So the next one will be at the start of August and we'll go from there onwards. And also every single ACE and PSA grading return that I have in, I'll do a separate video for them. So you want to see how they go, tune in for that. And aside from the business updates, I also do general TCG Pokemon investing content, talking about this kind of stuff, the seal products, and just what's going on in the Pokemon market in general. So if you like that kind of stuff and you're looking for another opinion or someone else's opinion aside of the other PokeTubers you watch, then please join in, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.